Okay, I'd like to welcome you all to another one of our weekly business opportunity meetings for Pool Funding. We just got done watching a couple of our videos that we use for marketing, and we're really proud of the marketing materials that we're producing at this time to make it easy for our members to share pool funding with people in their circle of influence. And what we have is so like it kind of falls in the category of making an offer you can't refuse. How can you say no to pool funding after watching some of these videos, the way it's kind of presented? Okay. So the last video we just watched was the 2 minute what I call the 777 giveaway video. Okay. And uh inside that video, it becomes very clear we're not going to give you $777 you can use today to go and buy some groceries, and some, whatever. It's not going to help pay your electric bill today, right? The video spells out that what we're really offering is a business opportunity, okay? And what is this business opportunity all about? Well, on one hand, our business opportunity is about wealth creation. Now, in my mind, when I think wealth creation, the first word that always comes to my mind is retirement. Okay, why do I need wealth creation? Right? Well, I want to retire at some point. So, wealth creation matters if you want to retire, because the idea of just working and then never stop working until you die, you know what I'm saying? Never retire. So, the idea is have enough money, wealth set aside so that you could actually stop working at some point and you can live off of your wealth for the rest of your life. That's kind of the whole point. And I think that's a universal need. Would you guys all agree with me? If you agree with me, just unmute and say, yeah, you're right. It's a universal need,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Yes.
you're
Yep.
right.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Big yes.
So what we're doing is we're showing people a business opportunity that involves wealth creation leading into the retirement. Okay. And we're saying, look, we're so powerful, we don't need your money right now. Okay. What we want to do is we want to demonstrate the power of our offer by providing you some funds that will allow you to get access to some assets that are going to help you in wealth creation. Okay. Now, what are these assets? So in that video, it says, don't worry, we're not trying to teach any of you how to become a trader. Okay. I could probably survey this group that's here now and ask some of you, have you ever tried trading? And some of you would say yes, and some of you would say no. And then if I asked the people that said no, why not? And a lot of them would say, just seems a little complicated for my taste, right? Or something like that. And so not everybody, I don't think everybody in the world wants to be a trader. Am I right about that?
Yes,
Yes,
Absolutely.
you're right.
You're
Yes.
correct.
Yeah. Because a lot of people, when they think trading, they have a hard time seeing the difference between trading and Las Vegas. It looks like the same thing to most people. You know what I'm saying? you know. So, and it can be. It's definitely my from my own personal experience of in trades and whatnot. I didn't win every trade. So you take your losses with your gains. So no, wealth creation is not about a skill of you becoming a trader. Okay. Wealth creation is something different when it comes to pool funding. So what is it? Well, okay, what's going to happen is we're going to put you into pool funding coins. And by design, our pool funding coins are appreciating in value over time. Okay. So it goes up and down, right? But over time, the general slope will be, upward. Okay. And so that's something anybody could latch onto, and they could connect themselves to our pool funding coins, which are appreciating, and just say, okay, yeah, I'm happy to have these coins. And if we provide you with $777 worth of these coins in the first week, okay, and then automatically they go into a seasoning period for 90 days. You can't really do anything with these coins, right? Again, we're not offering to pay someone's grocery bill this week. Okay. Our giveaway is not it's not about giving them money they can use this week. It's about showing them the power of our business opportunity, without it being, and without, with it being risk free to them to give it a try. Try it before you buy it, right? So, and what happens is it's going to go into your account for 90 days. Let me show what that looks like. Okay. Let me share my screen. And everybody's going to get an account. It's going to look kind of like this here. Okay. Let me refresh it. Okay. And you're going to have these boxes. You're going to have the funds sent box. You're going to have the funds received box, referral box, and the holding box and the distributed box. Okay. So you're going to have these boxes. When you first get started, when you sign up for free, these boxes are empty. They got nothing in them. Okay. Mine obviously got some pretty big numbers in it. Okay. So what happens is that you're going to be receiving coins over here in this holding box. You're going to be receiving coins, and those coins are going to be held here for 90 days. That's what the video said. Okay. Can be held for 90 days. Then after 90 days, we certainly expect the value of the coins being held to be worth at least 3 times as much than what they were to begin with. So if you multiply 777 times 3, you end up with a number pretty close to $2,300. So we're expecting the giveaway, okay, where the money goes from 777 to 2,300 in 90 days. When it does that, it's going to be going from the holding box over to the distributed box. Now that happens automatically. So what that means is that the coins are showing up here, okay, for 90 days. That's where you see them, okay, and then after 90 days, they go into your wallet automatically. Okay, this is what I mean by a wallet. Okay, so it goes into the wallet automatically. And so you can see here that I've been accumulating coins. So if you look at the coins being accumulated, I started accumulating coins in this particular one back in December of last year. Okay. And it says that my contribution that I put in was 17,300. So that's what went in. Okay. And it shows here that since that time in December, I've already been distributed 13,800, almost $14,000, right? That's pretty good. And then the additional coins that I'm holding, is 33, almost $34,000 that I'm still holding. And then these coins are every day going and moving over to this distributed balance here. Okay, so day by day, the distribution takes place. That's how pool funding works. So the 777, 90 days later, becomes worth 2,300. It goes from being held into the distributed box, meaning that you could cash out. You could then take $2,300, cash it out. Not that we're recommending that, but I'm just telling you what you can do. Okay, you could do that. You could take the $2,300 at that time 3 months later and use it to buy groceries 3 months from now, or pay the rent or whatever else you got on your plate of things to pay for. Yes, you could do that, but you wouldn't want to do that knowing that there's so much more potential of gaining, right? So when you got wealth creation working for you, you don't want to let it go, right? You don't want to go from I'm gaining wealth. I'm gaining wealth. Oh, now I get nothing, right? You don't want to go from moving forward to just then going back to how maybe you're not really moving forward. A lot of people, they're not saving money. Okay, it's a pretty well known fact, especially if you're an American. Statistically, around the world, Americans are not known for saving money, right? So, right, so most Americans don't have much saved up, and it's really tough with the cost of living, right? Wouldn't you guys agree that with the cost of living, it does make it challenging to save, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Yes.
it makes it a real challenge. So it's not really Americans' fault as much as it's kind of a fault in the system, if you will, that between a rock and a hard place. Of course, you want to save and you want to have a good retirement, But on the other hand, you don't want to starve to death today, right? So, you know, so if you're in that, that's where most Americans are. And I think that's true for people all around the world, especially in Western countries where the cost of living is high. So, what's great about pool funding is that now you have an opportunity to actually create wealth, almost like automatically, but on the other hand, receive cash flow. So let's talk about cash flow for a minute. Okay. Our cash flow system is built on a coin called USDT. So let's set the pool funding coins aside for now. Okay. They're doing what they're doing. They're I think our lowest cost coin right now is $2,000, right? So just to give you an idea, we have 4 coins, and the cheapest one is $2,000, right? So and it goes up from there. I think we got one that's hundreds of thousands of dollars, right, in value right now. So we got four different coins, and they each kind of move in their own way. But that's not how we're paid. So the business opportunity is about getting paid. We get paid in a stable coin known as USDT Tether. Okay, that's the name of the coin. If you're new, maybe you never heard of that, but just think of it like a digital dollar that you can easily go from your bank account into the digital dollar back to your bank account, which is kind of paper money again, right? So you can go from paper money to digital money back and forth. The value doesn't change, right? So for every USDT coin you have, it's always going to be worth $1 forever. So we're paid in a stable coin that doesn't change value at all. Okay, doesn't go up, doesn't go down. You never have to worry about the value of what you're holding when it comes to your commission in pool funding. Now, the best part about our commission is that you get paid 100%. Okay, you get paid 100% commission. You're like, what? What do you mean by 100% commission? I think I got graphic here I can use. If I can find, there it is. I like showing this. So the way that we pay people in the USDT coin is 100% commission. Okay. And what that means is that as you go get referrals, whatever money those referrals pay, 100% of what they pay will go, all of it goes to you, and there's no in between, like middleman. Okay. So we're using what we call digital wallets. So money goes from one digital wallet to another digital wallet. So even though I'm the creator, I'm the founder of Pool Funding, I didn't set it up so all the money from the people in Pool Funding comes to me first, and then I trickle it back out to you guys in the form of commissions. Pool Funding doesn't work like that. I know that a lot of other opportunities, that's how they work. Okay. And then we've seen a lot of scams, right, around, operations like that, because whenever you have a central pot of money, it's very tempting for, someone on the corporate team to just run off with that money. We've seen it a million times. So that's, why I didn't set up pool funding that way. I set up pool funding so that the money doesn't come to the headquarters or to me or the company. No, it goes directly from the referrals wallet to their sponsor, direct, and it's instantaneous. You don't ever have to ask for your commission. It's sitting in your wallet, and if it's in your wallet, you can then move that to your bank account, right? Which is then paper money again, right? So that is very reassuring that you never have to worry about, sharing your money with anyone. You get 100%. Okay. So how does that work exactly? Well, as the creator, as the founder of Pool Funding, what I did is I created some coin. Okay. We have these coins here. I'll show them to you here. We got 4 of them. Okay. So we got PFI. That's for our $1 pool. Okay. So I'm going to show you our pools. We have 4 different pools. We got the $1 pool, $10 pool, $100 pool, and $1,000 pool. Okay. So we got a coin for each one. So PFI is for the $1 pool. PFB is for the $10 pool. PFS is for the $100 pool, and PFG is for the $1,000 pool. Okay. And so each one of these coins here are in the market. Okay. So this isn't like imaginary money. This money is this money in the market is real. So here's PFI. There's the chart for it, up and down. Okay, but trending upward. Here's PFB. Okay, up and down, trending upward, and PFS up and down, trending upward, and PFG up and down, trending upward. Okay, so the money is real. It's in the market. I personally created these coins, so and you can think of these coins now like a stockpile, okay, like a big pile of money, okay. And I said, okay, you can sell these coins, and whatever you sell, you get 100% of whatever you sell, okay. So you can go stand in front of the stockpile, invite potential people to come, like referrals. They come to you, they pay you, and then you provide the coin. You're providing them coins that you didn't have to purchase beforehand. You're selling something that you didn't buy, right? So you can sell as much of this as you want using our system that's built into our website. You can use the website as much as you want, so that you can sell as much of this coin as you want to as many people as you want. Okay. And you get 100% commission, USDT. The value is stable. It's always going to be one USDT coin for $1, one paper dollar. And it's instant. You're getting paid instantly. So the cash flow is daily. It's positive. It doesn't take much, like there are some, in order to stay active, you gotta make a payment into the pool every day. So there's 4 pools. So if you're inactive in all 4, if you are active in all 4 pools, then you'd be paying $1,111. But if you have one referral right below you who's also active in all 4 pools, they're paying you $1,111 every day. So the great thing about 100% commission is it only takes one referral to break even on what it would take. So, we don't have the $1,000 pool open up yet, but we have plenty of people that are doing $111 every day. Okay. Which reminds me that if you will bring one person in right away, if you're a brand new person, you bring someone in right away, you can move from our 777 giveaway to a $3,000 a month giveaway. Every month you get $3,000 a month. How's that sound? Does that sound good, guys? It only takes
Yes.
one.
Sounds
It only
awesome.
takes one. So anyway, our system works. It's been working for a year and a half. It's been, and we're always tweaking and improving the system and making it better as we go. Okay, and then that includes marketing material. Like I've put a lot of focus on that today, how valuable the marketing materials are now that we've really made some good ones now recently. And so use what we got. Create as much wealth as you possibly can. You can. It only takes 4 referrals with our system to get to millionaire status. So if you get 4 people to join you in the $1,000 pool, then you could be cash flowing over $1 million a year. We'd like you to become one of our co-founders, and if you're selected because you meet the criteria for that, then we'll give you a big bonus, 10 times whatever's in your wallet, whatever's sitting there. We'll give you 10 times more coin, from the stockpile. We'll take from the stockpile 10 times more coin and put it into your wallet. When you achieve co-founder status, it takes about a year to do that. And you have a roadmap here where things like having a job become optional. Things like people worry about retirement, you won't need to worry anymore, about retirement. And and you probably make a bunch of new friends while you're here as well. So, icing on the cake. So we really do have an offer that we are so proud of. We do feel like it falls in the category of an offer that you can't refuse, right? So good that you can't refuse, right? I believe we fall in that category. And in fact, the number one thing that people object to when it comes to pool funding, the number one thing that I hear is sounds too good to be true. That's the number one thing we have to overcome is when people tell us sounds too good to be true, right? And it's like, well, this just happens to be true. It is as good as it sounds. It is as presented. So, that's really easy to overcome because we got documentation and proof up up the wazoo that we are exactly as advertised. We do what we say we're going to do, and we do it like we say we're going to do it. So, and we're very transparent and out there in the open, and we got close to 400 videos on YouTube as documentation and proof that we are for real. This is the real deal, and you're never going to see that much documentation on opportunity like you will see with pool funding. You'll never experience this level of transparency. You'll never see this level of support from any kind of group offering a business opportunity in the world. We are the best. Welcome to number one, pool funding, the best business opportunity in the world. Okay, that's my presentation for you today. Thank you for attending today's presentation. We normally go into a Q&A right now, and that's usually good for the new people, like they got questions. I don't know if we got a lot of new people here, but this is open to all of you. Any question about anything, feel free to ask. You got me here. If you got a question, why not ask it? I'm sure someone else is probably thinking the same thing. You probably, satisfied their question so don't be shy. Who would like to either make a comment or ask a question? Either one is fine. Make a comment or ask a question. Who would like to go first?
I have a question, Ace.
Hello, Ruth.
This is Ruth. Hi. So I did not quite understand how this 777 could become 3,000 something a day. Could you explain that again?
Sure thing. So basically, if you want to transition from one giveaway to the next, we have two giveaways, okay? Let me share my screen. So we have two giveaways. We have the 777 giveaway, okay? And
Okay.
that's what we start with. And we also have the $3,000 a month giveaway. That's one. I like this one better. We have this one here, okay? And in order to go from one giveaway to the other, okay, you got to bring in at least one referral, okay? So if you're taking advantage of the 777 offer, then you can move into the $3,000 per month offer with just one referral, okay? So without getting into all the mechanics of how we do that, I just want to be clear that that's the offer, okay? So,
oh, I see.
Yeah, the mechanics, we cover that in our training in great detail. You're welcome to come to our training. I know you do already, Ruth. But the bottom line is we got two offers, okay? And so the idea is that people can move from this offer to this offer. I think this is the better offer. Wouldn't you agree? $3,000 a month, right?
Yes, it's very attractive.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's a nice offer, right? So, and if the cost of getting into the offer is one referral, that's a low cost. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a low cost to get into the offer. So the mechanics of how it's all done, that's kind of getting into the weeds a little bit. I don't think for our opportunity meeting, we don't want to get into the weeds. We just want to say the offer is real, it's out there, it's legit. We back it up.
Oh, so if I'm promoting this 777 giveaway, just promote that alone. Don't say anything about this 3,000.
Right.
Don't say anything about that.
Yeah, what you do is you keep that in your back pocket, and then after a person accepts the 777, right? Then and then you go ahead and get them started. then you can say, okay, now that you've taken advantage of this giveaway, I want to tell you about the next one, which is 3,000 a month. It's even better.
Oh, okay. Now I understand.
Now you
I
understand?
understand now.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
You're
Thanks.
welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. And it's, if it wasn't for the fact that this is based on 100% commission, these giveaways would not be possible. Okay, so, but our
Mm.
system includes 100% commission, and it makes this all possible. And the fact that everything's digital, right, and instantaneous, for the certain elements of what we got, the ingredients come together in a certain way that even it makes giveaways a realistic possibility, and we've taken advantage of that. And yeah, and I think what by basically going out into the world and saying, hey, we want to give you something, right? I think the world is going to be, ready to receive that message, right? If you go to the world and say, I want to sell you something, right? The world's like, you know what I'm saying? Right?
Mm.
So that's what's great about pool funding is
Okay.
that we can enter the world and say, we want to give you something, okay? Take a listen, take a look. We want to give it to you. That makes us
All
powerful.
right. Thanks, Dave.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
I understand now.
You're
Mhm.
welcome. All right. Okay. Anybody else want to contribute today? Even someone might want to share what it's like to be a member of pool funding. Any comments like that would be wonderful as well, you know.
I'd just like to say that I think this is a very good opportunity for a lot of people. And when I first got into it, I thought it was very complicated, but it's really not. I think you get in your head too much and like it's too easy to seem like it works, but to me so far, I've been in it a few weeks and I'm very grateful that Sherry was able to introduce this to me because I think this is going to help me a lot with my future. So, and that's what I've been looking for, not just a quick get rich thing, but something that I can look forward to a few years down the line. So I just wanted to share that.
So have you been involved in other business opportunities before, Raquel?
I've done affiliate marketing here and there,
Mhm.
side hustles, and you know, I thought it was going to last a long time. Obviously, it didn't. I'm still into a couple things here and there, but I'm still waiting too to see where it's going to go. So,
Sure.
and I think this is going to go a lot faster than any of that ever has. Well, I know this is going to because I'm going to make it happen. So,
Yeah. And you might be new, but you kind of started out immediately, like as soon as you heard about this and you decided that you're in, you immediately reached out to a number of people. Sounds like you got about 10 of them that basically said yes right away out of the initial approach, right?
yeah,
How many
well,
people have said yes to you so far? They're joining
so
you in.
far I have 7 on board.
Uh-huh.
Um, that is, I got 2 more I'm signing up tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
I don't have the exact 10 yet, but they're there. So, and yeah, I mean, I have a lot of people that I've worked with, and I have a group of people that has always stood by me, and we've always helped each other out. So I want them to have this opportunity as well.
Fantastic. Well, did you see what Diane wrote to you there, Raquel? She says, I'm next. So
Yeah, she's one of mine tomorrow, and I've got another one that's on here that's going to be joining tomorrow too.
she's excited. Now, I know she doesn't go by the name Tom. Her full name's Tomoko, right? Is that right? Tomoko?
Yes,
Yes,
that's
Tomoko.
correct.
Tomoko is also part of Raquel's team. And so,
Yeah.
what did Raquel say to you? Can you recall the first thing she said about pool funding to you? What was her opening
Oh,
to
oh, I
you?
remember because I remember when Sherry initially approached her, the first thing she asked me was, "Do you know what pool funding is?" And I actually thought, because we had been talking about solar panels before that, that it had something to do with like physically putting a pool in your backyard and getting some sort of government grant for it or something like
They're
that. I
going to put
wasn't
money in
quite
the
sure.
pool. Got it.
And yeah, so basically I said, I
Mm.
don't really know, but find out a little bit more. It sounds interesting because there's a lot of cool things that people are coming up with out there, and get back to me. And then a few weeks went by. She's like, "So this is kind of working?"
Yeah.
And she showed me her dashboard. I couldn't quite understand what was happening, but you could actually see, like, oh yeah, these
It's
coins are
numbers. Yeah.
increasing in value.
Yeah.
I still don't understand what it is that you're doing. And so yeah, so then when she brought me in on a call, and I got to meet you and Paul, and it was explained in a lot more detail, I understood not just, the 777 or even the $3,000 a month, but what happens after that, like how
Yeah.
far this can grow.
Yeah.
And I have yet to recover from that whole mind-blowing concept of what you've created here
Uh-huh.
and what you're wanting to create for all of us. It's, yeah, I've never come across anything like this.
Do you think this is
And
good for
so,
humanity? Would you say it's large enough
in a
to be
huge
good enough for
way,
everybody?
because it's really made me rethink my philanthropy goals,
Uh-huh.
because up until this I felt very limited in what I can do. And to be honest with you, I thought those limitations were great because I didn't feel all that limited until you open this door and it's like, oh, whole new ball game. Possibilities are, yeah, beyond what I could have ever imagined. And I'm so grateful to you for introducing all of us to this and really getting us to think way outside the box. I don't
Yeah.
even think we're in a box anymore, to be
Yeah, we've
honest.
we've left the solar system, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but it just sort of, I know you were talking about legacy in a previous meeting, and yeah, it what you leave for the future generations with this, that potential is just unmatched compared to anything I've ever come across. And that is exciting
well,
because I can do more for my legacy beyond, well, this is all I have in my bank account. Have fun with it.
that's right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of the future generations, we've got some young people in the world today who are really feeling pretty discouraged, because of the financial chaos that's in the world right now. I mean, it's way different. When I was a young person, we're going back into the 1970s and 1980s, okay? That's when I was a young person, okay? And you know, um and that and it was tough then, right? In the sense of like, oh gee, I'm gonna have to save up somehow so I can get into this $80,000 house that I want to get into, which today is, depending on the location, it could be $1 million house, today. But these kids are, looking at, like they look at the world like their shot's already taken. They don't even have a shot at, home ownership. They don't even see the point of going to college and getting into all that debt. You know what I'm saying? What would be the point of that? Because they're not going to be any jobs for them anyway, because AI and the robots are going to take over all the jobs. And it can be really discouraging for the younger generation. So if you look at it from a, a sour point of view, everything is bleak and doomsday. It's really down, 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 right? When you look at it that from that perspective. I see a different future. I see a future that, thank God we got AI, and thank goodness we got robots. Okay, and thank goodness, you know, we there's so much more money floating around than there was before. There's actually more money in the system today than there was back when I was young, when I was in, the 70s and 80s, right? So back when I was young, there was a certain amount of money. Now there's a whole bunch more in the system, right? That's floating around. And so pool funding has found a way to access where most of that money is sitting and kind of get it back into the economic flow where it needs to be. Okay. And that is going to pass through individuals. It has to get through an individual into the economy again, you know. And so that's what we're doing here with pool funding. And what does that mean? Well, that means that these young people, instead of thinking that there's no way for them to ever make it, not only are they going to be able to have a beautiful home to live in, probably more spacious, more elegantly, decorated, uh, more stuff. But not only they're going to have all that, but they're also going to be able to have all their time. They're not going to be caught in a 9 to 5 rat race like what I went through in my 20s, my 30s, and my 40s. It was a horrible, horrible rat race for me, you know. And some of you are still in the rat race, and you know what I'm talking about. So once you become a millionaire, you can escape the rat race, guys. Get to millionaire status so you can get out of the rat race, okay? Because the rat race is I found myself in many moments of anger and like frustration, because you just everything. The rat race is horrible. I don't. It's really hard to put it in a few sentences, but it's just horrible. So the next generation, the generations that are coming here, they're not going to have to go through that horrible experience of decade after decade after decade, because guess what? The robots and the AI are going to do all the work. They're going to do all the jobs. They're going to do all the stuff we didn't want to do anyway, And that's just going to mean that we're going to have different choices. And so humanity has something to look forward to. But we need the mechanism of pool funding to make it happen. Okay. Some of the other ideas out there not going to work. Okay, like UBI. But pool funding will work. Okay. Pool funding will make it so that we could end up in what I've already called the luxury economy. Imagine a world where everybody lives in luxury, all of humanity, because the robots and the AI do all the work. Why does humanity live in luxury? Because AI and the robots do all the work. That's why. And then through that freedom, humanity can explore things like the arts, music, the sciences, whatever, each individual, whatever they're interested in, as a passion, not as an occupation, not as a career choice, okay? Not as something where they're going to, sacrifice their time and energy into something that they don't completely agree with in the first place, No, the future of humanity is doing what brings you joy, doing what is your passion. Imagine spending day after day after day after day in the pursuit of what matters to you and having the time freedom to do it and the financial means to support it. Full funding will lead humanity in that direction. We need as many messengers as possible to spread the news that we've got a solution. It doesn't have to be a dark future for the next generation, like Tomoko was saying, okay, like the legacy, okay. We actually can brighten up that future by just saying, hey, same elements, AI, the cost of things, robots, same thing, but look at it from a different point of view with the right, ordering things in the right system. Pool funding is a system, by the way. By placing things in a system like pool funding, it makes it possible for all of humanity to prosper, not just some, but all. Okay. And, being early will have its advantages. Okay. So those of you joining now, you are definitely going to be laced, you're going to, we're going to lay on some big advantages. And because we're really counting on this to be strong and have a solid foundation. So you're going to get many incentives to do that. So that's it, guys. I want to appreciate each and every one of you that have chosen to be here and taking your time to be here and be a part of this business opportunity presentation that we did today. I appreciate all the contributors, the people that added to the call. So it's not just my voice. That'd just be boring if I was the only one talking the whole time. So I appreciate those of you that spoke up. And well, how about we just go ahead and unmute and say, let me just see here. How about I liked what was it? I think it was Hunter. You said lucky, right?
Yes.
Yeah, how about everybody just unmute and say, yeah, 777 makes me feel lucky. Okay, everybody just say 777 makes me feel lucky.
777
makes me feel lucky.
Lucky.
Ducky.
All right, bye everybody.